Hey boys and girls, and welcome to Kids Corner. I am so excited for today. I'm so excited that you're here, but I am so excited for who we're going to meet. Have you ever met a queen? I haven't. But today we are going to meet a queen. Not a princess, not a prince, but a queen. It is so exciting. But until just before we do that, we should sing some songs and do some other stuff. But I'm so excited. Her name is Esther. We're going to call her Queen Esther, and we're going to meet her today. But just before we do, we're going to go sing a song. So stand up, get ready to do some actions, and get your excitedness out, because we have to be sitting quietly and listen intently as we talk to a queen. See you in a minute.
Surf's up, dude. Your love pours down, splashes all around. It's as big as the biggest waterfall. Your love soaks me so completely, till I'm drenched in the sweetest rainfall. And I will shout out loud, whoa, it's all over me. And hey, I cannot believe that, yeah, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. Whoa, makes me wanna dance. And hey, throw up both my hands when, yeah, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. It's like riding a wave. Your love. Your love pours down, splashes all around. It's as big as the biggest waterfall. Your love soaks me so completely, till I'm drenched in the sweetest rainfall. And I will shout out loud, whoa, it's all over me. And hey, I cannot believe that, yeah, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. Whoa, makes me wanna dance. And hey, throw up both my hands when, yeah, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. It's like riding a wave. Your love. And I wanna go deeper, deeper, where the waves are higher, higher. And I wanna go deeper, deeper, till all I know is your great love. It's all over me, and I cannot believe that, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. Whoa, makes me wanna dance. And hey, throw up both my hands when, yeah, your love crashes down. It's like riding a wave. It's like riding a wave. It's like riding a wave. Your love.
Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm so excited that you're here. I know I keep saying that about how excited I am, but I really am excited today. But I want to show you our memory verse for today. And don't forget to get your parents to either film you saying it or taking a picture of you saying it, because you know that you can get entered into our grand prize draw if you do. So don't forget to do that. So let's look at our verse for today. Our verse says, "For the Lord is your security. He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap." Proverbs 3:26. Can we say that together? For the Lord is your security. Are you repeating after me? He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. Proverbs 3:26. Aren't you glad that he protects us and keeps our feet from being caught in a trap? We're going to learn about a trap that Queen Esther was almost caught in, but got out of. But I don't want to give too much away, so let's go over our verse one more time. For the Lord is your security. He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. Proverbs 3:26. That is a very cool verse. All right. Now here is the moment we've all been waiting for. At least I have all week. So put your listening ears on and listen really good, because here she comes. Let's meet Queen Esther. Hello, boys and girls. I am so happy to see you. My name is Queen Esther. Isn't that sound funny? Queen. That's so silly. How could a simple Jewish girl like me become queen? It sounds almost like a fairy tale. Almost like your modern day Cinderella story today. But here I am, Queen Esther. Now your friend Stephanie wanted me to tell you a little bit about how I became queen and what happened shortly thereafter. So let's get right down to it so we don't waste the whole afternoon. Now, I was just a simple girl, an orphan actually. My parents had both passed away and I was living with my cousin Mordecai, who had so graciously taken me in as his own daughter and was looking after me. And at the time, King Xerxes was throwing this grand party. It was huge and it was going on for days and days. Of course, I wasn't at the party because I was just a simple girl. But King Xerxes asked for his wife, the queen at the time, to be paraded around for everyone to see her, as she was very beautiful. But the queen had refused. And in my day, you did not say no to the king. So she was thrown out of the palace and wasn't the queen anymore. It was quite sad, really. But the king, he was sad as well, and he didn't want to stay alone. All his royal men thought he needed a queen. So the king ordered that all the maidens from the land be brought to him so that he could have a type of beauty pageant, so he could pick his new queen. Well, wouldn't you know that the one girl, me, who didn't want to be there, he picked me. After all that time of being in the castle and not wanting to be there, King Xerxes picked me. And we were married and I became queen. But little did I know that behind the scenes, King Xerxes has a right-hand man named Haman. And Haman was not a very nice man, and he hated Jewish people. But Mordecai had made me promise not to tell anyone that I was a Jew, so Haman didn't know that I was a Jewish girl. He just knew that I was the queen. But he had a plan to get rid of all the Jewish people, and he tricked the king into making a decree to have all the Jewish people in the land killed. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it either, and I didn't know what to do. I talked to my cousin Mordecai, and we agreed to pray and fast for a few days before I went to talk to the king. Now, you wouldn't think that that would be a big deal, would you? Because we were married, I should just be able to go talk to him. But that wasn't the rule. I couldn't go talk to him unless I was summoned by him. If he didn't call me, I wasn't allowed to go and see him, or I would be put to death. But the funny thing about this story is that if I didn't go and see the king, I would be killed. But if I did go see the king, I also could be killed. I was very afraid. I spent a lot of time praying and fasting and seeking God to help me in all of this. And I did what only I did what was right. God needed me to save his people. I couldn't let them die when I could try and save them. So I went to the king and I waited. And you know, he pointed his scepter at me and he let me come to see him. And he said that he would give me up to half his kingdom. He must really love me, you know. But I didn't know what to say. I was almost speechless, so I invited him to dinner the next day. And he and his right-hand man Haman came to dinner the next day. And again the king asked me what up to half the kingdom I would like. And you know, I got scared again. And I invited him to dinner again. But when he came the next day, he asked what I would want up to half his kingdom. And all I could think of was saying was, I wanted my people to be spared. Do you know, the king got very upset when he found out that I was Jewish and that I was going to be set to be killed. I was his queen after all. He demanded who ordered that. And of course I had to tell him the truth, that it was Haman. Well, the king couldn't undo his law, but he made another law that said that the Jewish people could defend themselves. And they got up and they did, and they were prepared. And I was saved. And Haman, well, he wasn't saved. And the king had him put to death. But you know who got his job was my cousin Mordecai. And then we were together in the kingdom again. You know, God gave me exactly what I needed when I needed it. And people said I was the hero, but you know, all I did was did what God needed me to do. And without his strength, I couldn't have done any of it. I think that's the end of my story. But I hope to see you again. Have a great afternoon. Bye. Wow, wasn't that amazing, guys? We got to meet a real live queen. And what an amazing story she had. That she was almost killed, but that God put her in just the right place at just the right time and gave her the courage to do the right thing. That is pretty amazing, isn't it? That she'd have the courage to go before the king, even though she knew that it could end in her death. That is pretty something. Do you think you'd have the courage to do something like that if you had to? I would like to think I would, but I guess we wouldn't know until we're in those types of situations, would we? But we just need to trust in God and always do the right thing and seek God for the courage to do the right thing. Because she didn't just do it, did she? She prayed and she fasted, which means she didn't eat for 3 days prior to going before the king. So we always need to seek God and trust that he will give us the courage to do the right thing. All right, let's go make a craft together. I'll see you over there. Hey guys, it is craft time. So hopefully you all have your boxes. If you don't, you know that where you can get them at the church. Talk to your parents, grandparents. It's not too late. There are still boxes at the church. Okay, so once you have your box, you need to pull out the bag that says Esther number 2, because that's the craft we're going to do today. Okay, obviously we talked about Esther. We talked to Esther. And we're going to do, this is week number 2, so we're going to do craft number 2. Also, don't forget about these fancy little cards that are in your box. This week we talked about Esther, and we know that we have all the main points about Esther and our memory verse on the card. So, you can pull that out as well. And since we haven't talked much about our boxes yet, have we? But inside our boxes, there is some fun stuff. Like candy, which you can have anytime. So if you think it's, you know, you got the munchies now, let's have a snack. Okay? But in the meantime, let's do our craft. So you can open up the bag and pull out the stuff. we've got a big piece of red yarn, and we have a plate with a heart in it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch the heart. So because this isn't very strong, is it? But when you put the string all the way through, it's called a fortified heart, which means it makes it extra strong. And so like in Esther's case, we're extra courageous. So you can pick a hole on the end and pull your string all the way through. And then we're going to go back and forth in all the holes. I think I should have probably done some of this ahead of time because my string is very, very long. But who liked talking to a queen today? Queen Esther. She is pretty fantastic. Imagine going from a nobody living with your cousin to becoming the queen of all the land. Can you imagine? It's like a real life Cinderella story. Maybe that's where they got the Cinderella story from. Maybe. Queen Esther sounds like a Cinderella to me. Going from just an average person to a queen. Now, you're just going to pick a hole at the top, pull it through, and then go to the bottom hole, see, and just go back and forth and back and forth. It's kind of like sewing. Has anybody ever sewed before? Back and forth. Just so we can get it all done. I'm probably not going to get all mine done. But it's pretty neat when it's done. So keep going back and forth and back and forth. If you get tired, take time out, man. If it's okay with your parents, have a treat out of your box. And don't forget to get a picture taken with your craft so that you can send me a picture and I can enter your name in the draw for the grand prize. And the memory verse too. So, keep them going back and forth. See, mine's almost done. And I will see you next week when we got to talk about another